Deep within the lush forest of southern Nigeria, there's a place where mist rises like smoke and thunder echoes through ancient trees. 7 mighty waterfalls plunge from towering heights, crashing over rocks in the hidden pools below. Agbokim Waterfalls, a land of wonder and beauty. Across Africa, certain waters have never been seen as ordinary. They have inspired reverence, caution, and fascination. For generations, the people speak of water fairies, small mythical children said to emerge from the forest and from hidden caves, dancing at the edge of the rushing waters. And beneath the deep pools, where sunlight barely reaches, dwell the mermaids, half human, half fish, guardians of the ancient depths. And when the rains come between May and October, the rising mist catches the sunlight, painting a radiant rainbow across the cascading waters, as though the spirits are leaving behind the final sign that they were once here. Are these merely stories, or do the waters still guard secrets beyond our understanding? Today, we journey into the supernatural lore regarding Africa's waters. For centuries, these waters have inspired awe, reverence, and whispers of the unseen. In this episode, we explore the legends of Agbokim Waterfall and use them as a window into a larger conversation about African waters, mythology, spirituality, and cultural memory. Why is it that across Africa, a lot of people have supernatural, mystical beliefs around bodies of water? Water scares a lot of people. Some people think that spirits live there, or water itself is a deity. Do you guys think that this is an exaggeration? Maybe it's just something we don't know or can't explain, and then so we just ascribe spiritual entities to it. What is it really about?
I think it's a phenomenon of what you don't know, you revere, or you're scared of. Mm-hmm. And if you look at bodies of water scattered around different parts of Africa, it gives like a source of mystery, a source of life, a source of immense power. And because the depths are unknown, that natural phenomenon is ascribed to it, such as fear, or you worship it. And when it comes to body of water in this part of the world, it has the power to destroy. It also has the power to sustain community. Imagine one source giving like life and death, light and darkness at the same time. So because of that, so many deities are attached to it because it's a mysterious thing. Imagine standing by the beach as an ancient African, looking as far as your eyes can see. And from time to time, you see some creatures that will leap out, and you'll be like, whoa, those might be gods. Like the Loch Ness monster in Ireland or so, where till today, people are still searching for it. Now, imagine that happening in the African context. It will be revered. And sometimes they're actually used as tools to say if you are guilty, if the water reacts, it means you are guilty. If I'm, not guilty, the water would prove it. Yeah. So, and sometimes the water is mysterious with its wave. The wave comes and it goes, it crashes in, and sometimes it's gentle. So naturally, as human beings, you would think that there's a spirit attached to it, more like a medium to the spiritual world. That's why it's just the way it is in Africa.
That's a really great point of view. Me, I truly stand on the point that we give meanings to things we don't understand. The human psychology tries to find a meaning to things they are not even really so sure about. So we might have claimed to be mystical beings, quote unquote. I'm not going to say some do not exist, but clearly it has been proven over time that anything that human beings fear, they drive a meaning for it and they give a meaning for it. So these Mami waters or people drowning can just be whirlpools or tornadoes or tsunamis, whatever it is. But people can just give meaning to it because they don't understand what we fear, we are afraid of, we give meaning to it in different ways. And while some of these can actually have scientific explanations to them, but as usual,
So
once
you
we
don't really believe it.
just a little bit. I'm just saying that most of the times they're exaggerated. Yes, way more than they are.
Are they exaggerated because you've not experienced it?
I'm not saying that. Look, I'm not saying that. I have just see from the context of even from the books we read, you keep seeing the same things going over and over again. Mami Wata appears in South Africa, Nigeria, Senegal, different things. They have different names they call them. There's a mystic being. Don't go here. Don't do this. Something would happen. When we know the ocean has currents, when we know there are whirlpools, there are so many things that can happen to you in the water that scientifically can't be explained to you.
Yeah.
But the moment we don't actually understand it, we give a meaning behind it.
But how come there's a constant across all of these places you mentioned? If it's a constant, then it means there's a proof of evidence to it. Because
There's not
if
enough
there's
substantial evidence to
if
back
for
that.
example, according to if there's a mermaid sighting in South Africa, another mermaid sighting in different parts of Africa, it means is a constant. That time, there were no means of communication that would travel that fast for that information to have traveled across all of these parts for us to know that yes, this constant being that comes out of the water is a mermaid. So it means maybe there's some level of fact. Because if you look into the Western world, they also have a version of the mermaid as well. So something might be actually true about
I have
it.
a theory. I believe they are just aquatic life that we have not, maybe have
We hunt
human-like
and eat.
features. Yes, and then people just decide they are mermaids.
Or maybe
what.
human beings just embellish and exaggerate and add things. Maybe they'll see one dolphin in the far distance.
And you cannot
dolphins
explain it.
fly out like
Yes,
this.
and you can't
And they're
explain
very
it.
sentient, intelligent beings. And then maybe people will be like, oh, maybe this one is half human. It's so smart.
So because anything that you can claim that has existed for hundreds of years, but we don't have any substantial evidence to prove
Who
that they
told you
did
that there is
exist.
no substantial
Please
evidence?
Okay, you
It's
have
here.
substantial
You have
evidence.
substantial
I
evidence. Then defend it.
You know when Mr. G was talking about how waters are also used to prove people guilty or not. I remember this story about one tortoise that stole food, and there was one song, "Oh, if I lie, me water carry me go," or something like that. Like it was so funny. But also, I feel like this whole thing with lakes in Africa, even aside it's being scary, there's also the good that it does. There are also lakes that people go through, or it's like a genie for Africans too. Like Africans, people go there, they pray for things, they get them. There's what they call a Mami Water child. Or
Water spiritual.
water spiritual. We go to the water, we ask for things. I don't know, but don't you? I just feel like it's a thing of whatever you believe in actually just works for you. So, Bonga, you cannot say that these things, you don't
I'm
just
not
believe in
saying
it.
that they don't exist. If they do, then we have not just had
Me,
the
I
fact
have
to back
evidence
them.
that they do.
We're waiting for this evidence.
I can't show. I don't do
Then
my
bring it
part.
now, because next thing now we tell you to bring Mami Water.
Or
here.
is
Me, I'm telling you.
or is it possible with this all of this your beauty, you might be a water spirit?
Ooh, Mami Water, they hide.
And some of them, if you check, like those were just, if you look at some of these cultures, they were just preventive measures. Some of them, they were patterns. You can keep seeing that the ancestors just had patterns to tell you, don't go into the river alone. You might drown. Do you understand? They were just warnings. Don't
Actually.
go into the cave alone. And you come out and claim so many things. You saw a fairy or no. Maybe now mosquitoes just they bite you for there. And the thin layer there and something happens, or bad, something beats you, and you claim there's something mystical there. They were just preventive measures. Sometimes I believe there are some folk tales were created as preventive measures so that people don't go alone into the ocean
like
to go and dive.
warnings.
So they were just warnings to you. And right now they have become so indebted in most cultures that they are almost real. Well,
They are real to the people who
They're real.
believe
Exactly.
them.
Myths are. So what do you call a myth? Is a myth real or it's just a fantasy?
That's why I said they are real to the people who believe in them, right?
Exactly. So you cannot tell me, as long as they don't bring for me substantial evidence, there are stories until proven that they are not stories.
But you always go with evidence. For example, Lake Nitron, the people there believe that it's actually where both the living and the dead in this life meet. It's a blood lake, is red like blood. So, but scientists like you, Bonga, have said that it's because of the salt. That's why the lake is red, and that's why it petrifies anything that steps on it. So, just because you are coming from a science angle, it doesn't mean that people that are living there are lying. Do you understand?
Yes. So, and also there was an event that I remembered of now, Lake News that happened in Cameroon.
Okay, yes.
So all of a sudden, just picture it now in the 1900s. You just wake up one day, over 1,700 people were found dead. There was a thin layer all around, close to a mountain in Cameroon. Thin layer, over 3,070 people, animals found dead. People now, yes, over 1,700 people found dead. And the people there believe that it's close to a mountain there in Cameroon, and they believe that there was a mountain, there was a deity there, and that since they were polluting the lake, or they were stopped offering sacrifices to it, so it was angry. Right? And so that's what created all this mist and happened. But after a while, scientists and geologists came there and they found that it was CO2. Right? So there are only 3 lakes in the world that those kind of volcanic eruptions happen, and it releases CO2 all around there. And it creates this thin layer of methane that it chokes you and you die immediately. So that's what happened. And right now, they have understood that, and there are also pipes right now under the mountain that diffuses it and releases the gases somewhere else. And now they claim that this is no longer angry. The deity is no longer angry, and that is why so many. So
that's their
scientists has given you see what happens. No, you see what I see now, but culture gives meaning. Or science gives mechanisms
that the lake
to
is
help
not
us
angry
support.
again, because you think that the river cannot break that pipe. You think it cannot break the pipe.
No, it's not a river. So the lake was on top of a volcano. You understand? They are all is on top of a volcano. So maybe there's seismic activities, or there are kind of lymphatic motions that happen, and it dispurged. And CO2 came out everywhere, and people could not breathe. And all of a sudden, we have so many stories. If you know how many theories that people have, how many spirits or how many things that have evoked that land, evil spirits have gone there and they have killed people. All of a sudden, because we could not explain it, and it's because of the time it happened in. But now that people could explain it, now we say, okay, this is actually what happened. But back then, if you were there, you say, the spirit don't vex, so many of us no come this place again.
Okay, so now that you've said that, I'll take us to Cross River, a part in Cross River where it borders between Cameroon and Nigeria, where there's a waterfall called Agbokim Waterfall. Now, it is also reported that mermaids and fairies used to come out, they interact with the people of that region and all of that. But in that same region, there is a twin rock, where it is believed if you touch the rock, you get twins. Now, are we saying now that it was a coincidence, going by your theory?
Okay, so wait. Is it the same place that we have the largest numbers of?
It's not the same place.
Is it the same place?
No, that place is in
Those
Yoruba
are two
land.
different. Those are two different places. So now, are you saying that if I carry somebody here now that I'm expecting, and she touches that rock, she's going to have to
Carry me, let's go.
Are you married?
It's only married people that give
I don't know.
Okay. Let me ask now. So are you saying that if we physically try this,
For them to say that anybody that touches it will have twins, it means that it has happened plenty or many times.
Sometimes now, like even going back to that, even going back to that region where this in Raiba, there was a doctor that studied the region, and even maybe down to even the chromosomes of the people, or why they are always having they have the most recorded number of twins given birth to in the whole world. That region.
That's that Yoruba.
Yeah,
village.
so it can come down to genetics. If you go and check, it can come down to genetics. That's how I'll pick somebody from a different place. Let's try the logic.
Place.
Let's take somebody from a different place. They go and touch the mountain.
After this podcast,
twins,
we'll go. Don't problem.
and then people will defend your claims.
So have you guys heard about Oguta Lake? Of the two bodies of water that meet at Oguta Lake? So there's one that is bluish, then there's one that is like muddy and brownish, and they don't mix. So according to the people, two deities, husband and wife, they were quarreling, a bitter fight, and yes, irreconcilable differences. So they decided, okay, everybody go your own way. We're not mixing again.
Yes.
And even up till now, like the people built two separate shrines for each deity. And you're not supposed to fetch the same water, like the two different waters in the same container, that if you do that, something will happen. Maybe it will explode or whatever. But like people like Bonga,
We'll say
scientists, no, so Bonga and his scientists are claiming, well, they're not claiming. They say that the pH level of the waters are different, of course. Like the blue water is different, and then the brown water has mud and things like that. So it prevents it from
mixing.
Yes.
Probably
mixing.
the salinity level too as well.
All of that.
Prevents it from mixing.
So what would you say about the Oshun River in Oshogbo, Oshun State,
Probably
where it is
the same
believed
thing.
that the goddess of fertility and love resides? And let's not also forget that UNESCO has actually, should I say, recognize that site as a site of heritage, where people
it's a site
actually
of
go there
heritage
and
to people.
worship and all of that. Now, if these people have been worshiping and these things have been happening to them, it means it is not a coincidence. It means these things actually work. It means that these things actually give the results it gives. And
Some
a
of
placebo
these-
effect cannot give you that.
What I believe is that some of these things I agree are not all just mere writings on the wall. They do exist, but I truly believe that some of, especially these mysterious beings, are exaggerated.
But you know, sometimes the gods in their wisdom can also make you think the way you're thinking.
Yes.
So you don't know the the secrets.
But they said it now. What you don't know
So
can't
that they
harm
can,
you, right?
so they can. I don't believe in that theory. If you put poison in this cup, and I have no knowledge that there's poison inside of it, and I consume it, the theory of what I don't know wouldn't harm me it will prove wrong, because it will harm me because there's poison inside of
No,
it.
but
So that
you
one
have-
is tangible.
It's
now.
tangible,
Well, I
right? You know,
agree.
it has been proving more and more that the more we try to look for answers to some things, we evoke things that we don't even necessarily need to. You can keep looking at, there have been so many depictions of it. When you go and try to find meanings to things that are left, they're meant to be left alone. You evoke things that shouldn't even necessarily need to be evoked anymore. So yes, sometimes what you don't really know can't harm you. So
But,
the best of knowledge,
but science was actually birthed off the back of looking for things you don't know are there, evoking things. And if not, we would not have the knowledge. We would not have the technological advancement we're getting today.
yes, I agree with that. But sometimes too, the whole brim of knowledge, the overdose of it creates a different thinking and a different mentality. Even to this day, you can see it. The more people are knowledgeable, the more they derail. You can.
So you're one of the.
You can just no. That is why sometimes, right? There are some things, right? You even wonder why you know them, because the more you know it, the more you start looking at society different. The more you
much
start looking at
information.
things different. Sometimes so much information
Yeah.
can actually confuse the mind. So yes,
Actually.
I'm not saying all of them don't exist to please. I'm saying some are highly exaggerated.
No,
as
because
it
you've
has
been
proven.
giving scientific
Backing, yes, to
explanations
some of them.
to
Some of them have scientific backing. Some of them, well, some of them we can claim, yes, the mythical still exists in the normal world.
So in other words, our gods are not real.
I did not say that too. Before they come for me.
Who is they?
I'm not saying anybody. I did not see anything, please.
But let's not also forget that these gods are gods that they have worshipped hundreds of years before the advancement of technology. And these things have actually worked. It have prevented them from diseases, protected them from plagues, and all of that. So it means these things actually work. Some things science cannot truly explain, but some of these things happen. They do happen.
So many things cannot be explained, but I still stand on my point. So many things
The
are
one you
still
can explain, you've been
exaggerated.
explained.
So many have still been exaggerated, especially to the mysticals of us seeing all kinds of monsters, seeing all kinds of fairies in different places. Some believe there are some caves that you enter, you can't see anything. Sometimes they're just thin layers of smoke because of how thin the place is, and you claim.
But-
so that is what I'm saying. They're just exaggerated. I'm not saying some don't exist. I will not draw, because even us,
But if you're saying that, it
Even
means
us
you're
as
going.
scientists-
But if you're saying that, it means you're beating around the point. If you say they don't exist, but they exist.
No,
Have
I'm
you ever
saying
heard of the
not-
Loch Ness monster?
I'm saying not
Have you ever
all.
heard of the Loch
Yes,
Ness?
I've heard about the
Now
Loch
it
Ness.
means if there was a sighting and there's an actual photograph, it means that monster existed.
if there was a certain desert, that's evidence that it existed. So I wouldn't derail that fact.
Now, for somebody who has not seen that picture, going by your logic, it means they would not agree.
They will not know. You'll see, my point is that some are exaggerated. Well, some do exist and they occur in the mystical world. Yes, they do. But some are exaggerated because we can't just explain certain things. You can't. So it's just clearly the fact that some we just can't explain certain things. We see things in the phenomenon of the natural world, but since we don't have an explanation for it, we claim they are spiritual. Well, they are not. But yes, I agree. There are spiritual things that are in the mystical world that we cannot explain. That is
There's
just my
even
thing line.
an example of that in Zambezi River. So there's this spirit called Nyami Nyami. And Nyami Nyami is the deity of the river. It protects the people. It's tied to agriculture and, just cycles of flood and drought. So they were constructing a dam. And they constructed the dam and crazy floods happened everywhere. People lost their lives, property. You know, of course, agricultural cycles were affected and farm yields were affected. And the people were now telling the scientists, they were telling the bongas that, see, we told you, the spirits are angry. Yes. So what do
I
you
think we
say
should call
about
them the
that?
bongas.
Yes, I think so. I think so.
They were telling
The naysayers.
Yeah.
And probably there might be an explanation, there might not be an explanation to that.
Yes.
Yes, some things can be defined. There are still things today that science have not yet given the answer to.
Yeah.
So yes, we agree. There are some things the mythical. I'm just saying sometimes it's so much exaggerated,
Okay,
more than it
Bunga,
has
we
to
understand
be.
you now.
Right? Sometimes it's way more exaggerated than it has to be, and puts people in different layers that the spiritual exists without the physical. Well, we both exist on the same plane.
Sure.
So yes, it exists, we exist as well. So sometimes let us try and give meanings to things before we exaggerate the matter out to the world and cause more fear than we are supposed to.
But you are not scared now.
I'm not scared.
You know, Mr. G, earlier you said something about guilt and innocence being determined by water. You know, even the famous fella sang that water no gets enemy.
Yeah.
So there's that belief in African culture that if you're innocent, then you have nothing to fear from water. But if you're guilty, then don't even come close. Like water can carry you if you've committed some crimes. But there are also some cultures that believe that if a person dies, like through drowning, then they should not be buried. Like the water should just take them. Even if you find the body, you should not bury them on land. You should let them go. I remember my friend, her husband died. He drowned. He was actually saving people. There was a boat mishap and a couple of people were drowning. He was a good swimmer. He swam out a couple of times, saved some people. But when he went back, exhaustion, he drowned. And then the people of the community, they rallied round, found his body, but they did not allow the widow to bury him. Like, I don't even think she saw. So according to, and they're from rivers in Nigeria. So according to their culture, since he drowned, then he belongs to the water and the spirits that took him. He should just continue.
I think the logical explanation to that might be maybe that incident that happened at the river, maybe that was the river goddess trying to get some kind of sacrifice and him coming to rescue them. Maybe it distorted
Yes.
it distorted
So
some
like,
of the
she
so
still has to
therefore
get-
so she still has to get some kind of currency for this thing that he has disrupted. So therefore he should be like the offering to the goddess for that thing that he changed. This would be the way an average, African deity or spirituality would want to interpret that. I remember many years ago, while we're still in school, we're in college then, we usually go to this stream to go swim and just, have fun as young students and all of that. I remember vividly, this friend of ours was walking towards the bank of the river and he called my name, took off his clothes, dived in. We're all busy, young people just splashing around, just having fun, running around and all of that. It was time for us to go. We couldn't find him. His clothes and shoes were by the riverbank. When now somebody said they felt something pass through their legs. Everybody started, searching and all of that. Some of us who could swim went in. We tried to look for his body. We couldn't get the body. We now left. Somebody now said, it is now a spiritual matter. We had to go and get the chief of that community. It took that chief to come to that river. After several swimmers, such as myself and other people, we went into the river. We tried, we couldn't. But this chief came. We don't know what he did. He said some things, did some things, went into the river in less than 15 minutes. He brought this boy out. They brought the body to the school. From there, they took him to the mortuary. Now, my young mind at that time told me there are some things you don't mess with. Because I can swim. And then we used to do this competition then. We'll climb up the rock. To prove that you've gone down the river, you dive down, come up with sand. You show that your hands are empty. We'll go down the depth of the river and come up with sand. So I can't swim. And we can't really explain. Maybe he couldn't swim, like something you made mention, maybe fatigue or exhaustion. Maybe something happened. Maybe he dived, he banged his head towards the rock. Maybe something of that nature. But how do you explain all of us that could swim? We used to go down, fetch sand from the bottom of the river. It took somebody who calls himself the chief of that community, bringing him out. So it shows that some of these deities, these spirits, it might sound mystical, it might sound whimsical, but somehow, I don't know if it's the African context, maybe because we are at this part of the world, some things are conditioned to the land, because the land, the water, the air, it has a spirit. Maybe this was what came to play. in this particular
Probably
incident.
he was a good diver. He could swim.
I can't swim.
Probably he was a better swimmer.
I
than you.
can't swim.
And probably you
I
said
was not
you
the
were
only
young.
person. Were other people.
You said you guys were young,
I was
right?
young. We were younger then.
You're
This
an
was
older
about.
person now, so-
This was in
The
19.
man went and spoke to the water goddess
And they
said,
told him where to
"Release
look
the
for."
body.
Yes.
No, and it looks like it's just like when, like, for instance, a military wants to go into an area. They look for locals, right? That know the place, that know the terrain. So probably you know the water better than you.
But we've been swimming this water for years.
Yes, it doesn't matter. Yes, there's still somebody that probably knows the terrain better than you. And he
That's
knows
another
exactly
angle.
where, like, for instance, now, the water bodies keep going down, they are flowing, right? Maybe he knows exactly where a ditch, if anything is going to fall, it's going to land exactly there. And he goes exactly there looking for it. You understand?
But he did some incantations.
Me,
He
I
said some
believe in the
things.
incantation.
Yes,
He said
ma.
some things.
He said some things, Bonga.
I believe, yes, they possibly.
I'm not
the
abandoning my
incantations work.
forefathers. I am not.
Possibly, yes, the incantations did work, and still, I'm just saying that sometimes it's either tit or tat. It can just be, it can either be spiritual or it's just physical, and then we just give it meanings and give people grave power to them. You understand?
So, in other words, there's no power in this world.
No, you're just going back and forth with me now. Yes, what I
No,
see.
because if there's a logical explanation to everything, it
Not
means
everything.
there's no power.
No, there
so it
is-
means what you cannot explain, you've not figured it out yet. When you figure it out, you disbase the fact that it was mystical.
And it clearly shows that right nowadays, sometimes things that we claim to be mystical, well, we finally understand it. It's just like back then. I remember when we were small. We went to a village like back then in Plateau State, right? So due to the fact that it's down from the mountain now, it's very foggy in the morning, right? And they claimed there was something they call her name, one kind of spirit that she passed by, and so that's why. And me now, when I went to study geography, I just realized that since because we are down from a mountain, these clouds can literally come down. That is why that place is so foggy, because we are close to the plateau, just under it directly.
Right.
So when I literally understood that, I was like, God, I mean, I used to be afraid. I don't like coming out in the morning, and I like playing football. So I was so afraid to come out and play because I was afraid, maybe the spirit no catch me outside. But when I understood that clearly, those were just geological factors that can happen since we're closer to that region.
You know that's geology, but this is depths that some of the eyes have not seen. So it's possible that
Your geography has
was, it's explainable and self-explanatory.
Yes.
But for the rivers and the seas and the oceans, where people worship, where people even give libation to, and all of that, incantations and all of that too, some powers do exist there.
Yes.
They do exist.
Actually.
They do exist. I agree. To the best of our knowledge, they do exist.
And I think that's the reason why across the African culture and the continent, we see different cultures respecting these water bodies, because maybe because of the mysticism, or maybe because it is deep in mystery that people don't know. You cannot explain some certain things, but they have, giving sacrifices, and these things have actually helped out.
That's a good question. Like, why is it always river bodies? Like, if you notice, whenever most cultures in Africa, there's always something, there's a riverine spirit somewhere. It's always in the river bodies. And is it just because water, as you said, has the ability to still destroy and give life? Or is it because there's no other place? They will not tell you climb the mountain and there's something there waiting for you.
No, but there are
stories,
mysteries about
but
Mountains
it's
and
more
forests,
riverine.
yes.
It's more riverine. Yes, I agree. There are mysteries about those, but it's more riverine. It's always don't go into the river.
Because,
I don't
like
think
you
it's
said,
more.
water is a source
Even
of life
forest has
and
a lot of
death.
There's-
Yes. So, like in Gambia, there is even this creature called Ninki Nanka or something like that. Now, Ninki Nanka is said to have the body of a crocodile, the head of a horse or a donkey,
Oh my
depending on
God.
the region you hear the story from. And that deity is said to protect the water, and that you need to use a mirror if you want to look at the water, so that you don't see the
That-
eyes of the creature
that you don't have
directly.
direct contact.
And then it's also a way
Thank
to
God I'm not
scare
so much a fan
children,
of
like,
water.
okay, don't come close to the water because it's dangerous, things like that. But it's also tied to the lifeblood of the community because, like we said, water has the power to give life. I mean, it's tied to agriculture, to rain, to drought and floods and all those things. Probably why water bodies hold so much significance around Africa.
You mentioned the great fella in one of his songs,
Yeah.
Water No Get Enemy. He said it in Yoruba that if water kills your child, it is that same water you use in preparing that child for burial.
burial.
Now that's how mystical, how powerful water is.
Yes.
Water can be amazing. Water can birth life. Water actually sustains life. And at the same time, water can be destructive.
Actually.
That's Imagine an element having all of these potentials and these powers. It's enough for mystical beings and deities to exist in the depths of these eyes, of these places eyes have yet to see.
Oh, for instance, like you keep saying about the river. See, look, like now there are some adages in some communities now, but if you just have a logical way to explain some of these things, some can just be logical reasons. For instance, like you said, the water is what they use for farming, they use for growing the crops. So maybe these ancestors or like this older generation wanted you not to pollute it. Because since they use that for their daily life, imagine you go into the river, you're going to bath, you're going to urinate, you defecate in it, you make it dirty and you don't make it usable. And if it's not going to make, or what about if it's a pond, not a moving water stream, like a lake that is the source of water for everybody, right? And you know that there are no means like mechanical ways to stop those people where the police force. We're talking about way back in those olden days. I'll create a story behind it now and I'll make you not to enter it.
And you're right about that because like this example I gave about the Nanka in Gambia, so it has been made into a national trail. So it's an eco-tourist site.
Exactly.
Yeah, so for protection of wildlife and the river body. So it's now called Nanka Trail. So named after the creature.
Exactly my point.
Like
Let's respect it. Named after the god.
Okay, the god, not the creature.
Back to my point,
exactly. With the head of a horse.
So maybe it was is a way of reserving or protecting the lake, whatever the riverine place, because they were using it for agriculture. And that, are you seeing? Because now it's a national site, and nobody's going to go and be depositing or throwing dumps into there. So maybe that was the best way for us to secure our environment, and we create stories behind them. I'm not saying not all our stories.
Not all are stories.
Yes, probably.
Me, I want to know the stories that you know that are not stories that you ascribe to. I want to know those stories that
before it's a culture. I'm not going to say anything. I just clearly, right, from my experience and my logical, from my experience, right, I believe some of these things have clear explanation. Like you can see, because there are some stories that I'm not going to give names of these stories, but there are some stories that when I was told, right, and when I was a child, it scared me. Growing up, I sat down and thought about those stories, and I already saw the meanings to it. I already saw answers to those stories. But because I was small that time, it scared me to even go to some places or try some things. So you see, but when I was growing up now, I had clear meanings and clear explanation to why some of these things even happen. But yes, when I was a child, I would rather not try it.
So in other words, you're saying that our elders and our ancestors came up with mechanisms to deter young people so they do not disobey and all of that.
Some were actually mechanisms to keep you away. Don't say don't stray in the forest, like there's something there, there's something in the evil forest. Whereas sometimes there might just be animals there that can actually harm you or kill you. So, but you might not hear, you are being notorious.
But even at that time, hunters, they ventured into the forest at night to hunt.
They were skilled.
How come those things were not
professionals?
This deterrents were not applicable to them?
So
No,
it's
they're
just
even
like
forests, actually.
So it's just like saying now you give somebody
forests.
a car to drive and that doesn't know how to drive. I can drive. I cannot drive like Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One driver. I can't. So he's skilled way more than me. So yes, the same way the hunters go into the forest and you go there, you're not skilled. So you don't know exactly what you're what you're looking for, what to avoid, places to walk out in night, places not to step your foot in, and they know all that. The same way I give Lewis Hamilton the car to drive, he can do things that I can never do. Not because I cannot drive as well. So that's my point exactly. So sometimes they're actually stories that are trying to preserve you as a person and also to preserve nature as a whole. But yes, some of them have things we cannot explain nor define.
Thereby, in conclusion, to your conclusion, there are goddesses, but there are goddesses.
Yes, there are powers that exist within powers as well. Yes.
Yeah.
So some do exist, some are just exaggerated beyond our control.
So, talking about rivers, there's this river in Kogi State. It's called, I think, Inachulu River. So, people say that if you fish from that river, that's not even like you want to cook that fish from today to tomorrow, that the fish will not done. Some say that if you cook the fish, you eat it, you die. So, actually, there's a story behind it. They said, I think during King Idoko's time, that there was a war between Igala land and one other land. So he now gave the command that they should put poison in the water, and then the soldiers drank it, and when they drank it, they died. So I think back and forth during the war, his daughter had to like sacrifice herself, and that was how the war was resolved. So that before she died, she cursed the water so that people would stop using that water to fight, and then that was how it now came that anybody that eats fish. Like she cursed the lake, so nothing from that lake was ever productive again.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned this, and I'm glad Kogi State is not too far from
Yes.
Abuja. Bonga and I, we can, make
I
this
go
as
where?
we can actually document it.
Please,
We
I'm
can
not
actually
going there.
document it. We'll go there. It's just fish.
said he's not going anywhere.
But you
So
see-
you're scared.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to
We'll
go
just,
behind.
I'll bring the ingredients. Garlic. Do you like garlic with your fish? I'll bring the ingredients and we'll prepare the fish from that
Sometimes,
lake.
do you know like there's hard water? There are water that do not even dilute things.
Yes,
Yes, you know
hard
that, right?
water, soft water.
Yes, you know there are two kinds of water. So
But that does
what
not classify how you cook the fish and it doesn't
not
get
done.
cooked.
Like now we can't drink the water from the ocean because of the salinity level.
Yeah.
I'm just
But this is not the
clearly
ocean. This
saying
is
there will be a clear divine. You know what? We need to get that water. There will be a clear.
Why the fish is
But
not?
they are bringing fish from Lukwata for us every
It's
time.
not from that river.
Eh.
That's
from
what.
which
But
river?
this one, I'll have to be with Bonga on this one.
Wow.
Thank you.
No, me and women said.
No, like I said, it's not. We're not far from Kogi State. We can make arrangements.
I'm not going.
We can actually document it and see how we can infuse it into our podcast and see, hey, we're trying to prove myth over science and logic. Get the water or maybe get the fish.
Yeah.
Prepare a delicious
And just see.
fish soup for you and give it to you.
No, I'm not trying that. I'm not trying that. I'm not
How
trying that.
dare you insult our gods and say they are powerless?
Nobody said they are powerless. I just said some are exaggerated and some have clear explanations to that. Like that now, we can give you a clear explanation
Yeah,
to that.
actually.
But unless we have it and test it out. But see, look at it as exaggerated that water cannot cook fish.
Actually. Also, I remember Miss Inda was just talking about how some rivers and like river and dead bodies. I remember the story you told me about Tisali. So there's the Volta River in Ghana. That's where even till today they claim that it's like a link between worlds. They said that's where Tisali disappeared. Till today, people said he never died. That he just said, okay,
Yes.
he's ready. Then that was the river he went to. and
Maybe they
disappeared.
never just found him. Just
Found his
now.
body, right?
They never
Like,
just
maybe he
found his
jumped and
body and he
drowned.
disappeared.
Maybe.
There are so many claims like
And the
that.
medicine man did not do any incantation to go after him.
Why didn't the medicine man
Mr.
find
G's
him?
medicine.
No, because he
this-
said he was ready to go, so nobody will go after him now.
If that's so, or they didn't have the instruments to find them now. Exactly. There's so many shipwrecks that have happened all over the world, that are under the ocean that nobody has found. And they're finding them in these days, over 30, 40, 50 years ago. But that day now, we can claim it was a mystery.
Actually.
Now it's actually.
No, that one you said. I just remember Titanic.
Exactly. Now, but back then it's a mystery because, yes, Tisali, we need to go and find the medicine
Let's
man
look
there
for
now.
Tisali.
They should find Tisali, right?
So, in conclusion, some people believe what they believe, but I think the majority of Africans are still hold mystical beliefs about water bodies, even the ones that are science inclined. When you say, okay, let's go, they're apprehensive. They're like, no, let's not go.
This is going to you exactly. Please.
So yes, there's something mystical about water. Even the larger bodies, especially the larger bodies, compared to smaller
bodies.
like, rivers, streams, and things like that. So yes, as Africans, we should still remember that science is there for us to explain and understand things that we didn't understand before. But at the same time, we can still revere and honor the traditions that came before us. And some of those deities are still worshipped. Some of those sites are cultural sites. Some of them, like Mr. G mentioned, are UNESCO heritage sites, so that people can still go there, like the Oshun Oshobo that happens every year. People go to the sacred grove, pray to the ancestors. So yes, the people that have that belief, they can continue with their belief. And the people that want to find all the answers with science, they're free to do so.
The Bungas.
The bongas.
Please.
If you want to stick to science, you stick to science. If you want to stick to our ancestors, believe in them as well.
Thin lines, please. Some things can be explained, some cannot.
That's true.
Doesn't mean they should be exaggerated. Thank you.
So we wrap up with a proverb from the Yoruba-speaking part of Nigeria that says, the water that one will drink will not flow past you. Simply meaning that whatever you're destined to achieve in life will definitely come your way. You see how powerful the water is?
Yes.
Our gods are not sleeping.
Okay.
They are real
Okay.
and they have powers.
They do.